All right, here we are, the final week of December 2025. Now, on the surface, the Canadian immigration world looks like it's hit the holiday pause button. But trust me, quiet definitely doesn't mean stopped. There are some really important last minute moves happening that you need to know about as we all get ready for 2026. So let's break it all down.
So here's what we're going to cover. We'll look at the federal holiday pause, then the crazy last-minute sprint from the provinces. We'll get a quick update for all you entrepreneurs, and then we'll get you set up with exactly what to watch for in 2026. Okay, let's kick things off with the big one, the federal government's express entry system. As pretty much everyone expected, it went completely silent this week.
So, what's the magic number of express entry invitations that IRC sent out this week? A big round zero. Nada. Not a single invitation went out, not for general, not for provincial nominees, not for any of the category-based selections.
So, if you've got a profile just sitting there in the pool, you might be thinking, what on earth is going on? Well, the short answer is, don't worry, this is all part of the plan.
See, this pause is totally normal, and it happens for three really smart reasons. First off, operational capacity. You know, IRCC staff deserve a holiday break too, and this prevents any backlogs from piling up. Second, they've almost certainly hit their 2025 invitation targets by now. And finally, think of it as a system reset, a way to clear the decks before the 2026 immigration plan really kicks into high gear.
So, the big takeaway here isn't to panic. No. Think of this as a golden opportunity. This quiet period is your chance to go over your profile with a fine-tooth comb. Are your language scores the best they can be? Is every single detail of your work experience perfectly documented? Use this time to polish everything so you're at the very front of the line, ready to go for those first draws of 2026.
Okay, now this is where things get really interesting. Because while the federal system was taking a breather, some provinces, well, they were in a full-on sprint to the finish line.
And this just paints a perfect picture of how Canadian immigration works, right? It's like two different highways running side by side. Just because the federal government slows down doesn't mean everyone does. The provinces have their own timelines, and they're driven by their own, very specific needs.
I mean, just look at British Columbia. On December 23rd, right before the break, they held some pretty major targeted draws. Tech workers needed a minimum score of 116. But for people in childcare and healthcare, a score of just 75 was enough to get that invitation.
I mean, just look at this chart. The difference is, wow, it's staggering. That huge gap between the tech score and the scores for the care economy, it shows you the incredible advantage you have if you're in one of these priority sectors. BC is basically sending up a giant flare, telling us exactly who they need most urgently. And then you've got Ontario, where the story is all about competition. The demand there is so high that they've officially burned through their entire nomination allocation for 2025. So what happens now? Well, successful applicants are basically being put in a queue, waiting for the 2026 spots to open up. This tells you just how competitive the OINP is. If Ontario is your goal, you have to be ready to pounce the second those new 2026 quotas drop, because they will go fast. Okay, let's do a quick check-in on the business and entrepreneur streams. For the Startup Visa program, look, the processing times are still really, really long. But the big message from IRCC heading into the new year is this: quality over quantity. That means that they're looking much more closely at how viable your business idea is and how genuine the commitment is from your investor group. So if this is your path, your business plan has to be absolutely rock solid, no shortcut. All right, let's put it all together. 2025 is pretty much a wrap, so what's your game plan for 2026? What should you be watching for in that very first week of January? Let's get you prepared. Okay, 3 key things are on our radar. First up, the very first express entry draw of the year, which we're expecting as early as the week of January 5th. Second, the provinces will get their new 2026 nomination numbers, which will fire the starting gun for programs like Ontario's. And finally, we might see some updated ministerial instructions, which could tweak the priority categories for the whole year. And that leaves us with the big cliffhanger as we head into the new year. What is that first express entry draw of 2026 actually going to look like? Are they going to kick things off with a massive general draw to reward all of those high-scoring candidates who've been waiting so patiently? Or will they jump right back into those specific, targeted, category-based elections? That first move, well, it's going to tell us a whole lot about Canada's immigration strategy for 2026.